Well, guys, if Trump isn't gonna work out, this is the kind of guy that we need in there for a new president. Thomas Massey's from Kentucky. He says they're using gun control as a Democratic fundraiser. You gotta listen to this guy. He said a lot of hearings and bills they saw right after the August recess looked like a list of payback checks for August fundraisers. You recall seeing the names of Disney CEO and executives and noted that Bloomberg is putting tons of money into the issue too. Massey summed up the gun control efforts by saying, what they're proposing is not going to solve any of the shootings that they purport to respond to with their legislation. He suggests that the Democrats know that gun control presents a catch-22 in that it helps bring in money, but it costs them politically at the polls. He says, but they can't help themselves. They're so stupid. Okay, you listen to this guy. I might have to turn that up. Maybe he ain't gonna play.
A lot of these Democrats are fundraising off this issue. I mean, Beta's basically floating a whole presidential campaign off of this issue. They must know that what they're proposing is not going to solve any of the shootings that they purport to respond to with their legislation. A lot of the hearings and bills that we saw right after the August recess look like a list of paybacks for the August fundraisers. I mean, you got the Disney CEO and executives that are funding them. You've got Bloomberg, who's putting tons of money into this issue, trying to distort the actual data. I mean, there are small donors and there are big donors for any Democrat who goes out there and says, yes, we want to take your guns. It's sort of like the impeachment issue. They can raise money off of it, but they know politically it's going to cost them some votes, but they just can't help themselves.
I wanted you guys to see that. And we're going to go back here to a second. Yeah, Republicans, yep, this is a good one. I'm just cramming this stuff in there because I know a lot of you people don't sign up for this stuff, you don't get it, so you don't know what's going on. Armed citizens have the right to repel a tyrannical government. That's what it's for. Representative Andy Biggs, Republican of Arizona, and Chip Roy, Republican Texas, spoke against gun control Wednesday on Capitol Hill and stressed that gun rights are God-given for the purpose of not simply defending oneself, but defending liberty. He said the founders of this country recognized that the Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights. He described their intentions by saying, you have a right to defend yourself against wrongdoers and against a tyrannical government. He said that's what the Second Amendment's all about. Representative Roy also addressed the Second Amendment rights, which he described as his constituents as rights to defend yourselves. He observed that the Second Amendment rights included in his constituents right to protect themselves against any intruder or people who do not follow the law, and they may risk his family's lives or yours. And it's also to fight against tyranny, against the size and scope of a government that wants to look at you and say it tells you, like a certain Democratic candidate we know of, that they are going to come and take your God-given rights to keep and bear arms so that you can't defend yourself. I'm going to put I better click on this thing now. When you go there, people, the rest of that stuff will be there. We got one more thing to go through. One more thing. Just hang on a second. This is kind of educational here. I want you to. Hillary Clinton says that she's not seeking the 2020 Democratic presidential nominee, but the British bettors over there are apparently not convinced, and with one site getting more wages on her than for any other of the declared candidates. UK bookmaker Ladbrokes or something allows people to put money on a race, and according to Matthew Sadwick, head of their political betting division, the former First Lady and Secretary of State is currently leading the pack when it comes to a number of bets that people have made. I better zoom this in because I want you guys to see it. I'm not making this stuff up. I guess I zoomed it too much. Maria Carey calls Hillary Clinton president in a photo op. We're baffled, to be honest, Sadwick said in Newsweek. We've taken more bets on her to be the Democratic candidate than for any other front runner. You can read that. The site currently has Clinton betting odds at 20-1, placing her alone in 7th place as far as the betting odds are. That's ahead of most of the people actually running. Okay, people, don't. Hillary Clinton claims the Supreme Court decision on Voting Rights Act made, and it didn't say what. That's how she supposedly lost the election, so on, so, but anyway. Yep. I'll put this up here. I want you to see this. The Clintons are still after world domination. Okay, guys, you know as much now as what I know. Keep your eyes open. Never count a Democrat out, because they can come from behind and sneak in there, take all the votes, buy votes, and American people are screwed again. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I'll put a link in.